Hi everyone, I'm Nancy Fredericks with Nancy Fredericks International, and welcome back to Mindful Business Tip number 11. It's hard for me to believe that I've done that many. Anyway, today's tip is, about creativity. Do you want to bring more of it into your work environment? And if you're left with a question mark, should I say yes or should I say no? Please know that in today's marketplace, a resounding yes is what you need to say. I don't know whether you've noticed, but I have, certainly, because I do a lot of research and reading. But have you noticed in the articles you're reading that creativity, innovation is one of the top words that you're seeing when it talks about leadership, when it talks about culture environment, when it talks about business, when it talks about customer service? Whatever aspect of business is being reviewed, innovation and creativity always comes up in the language. So what I want to ask you is, what do you feel about creativity? Are you someone who goes, yes, creativity, one of my top strengths, and I'm so excited? Or are you someone who's going, I am so busy, I don't have time in my calendar day to add creativity to what the company already has me doing? Well, if you're fist pumping, you'll be interested in hearing more about how to open the doors to creativity. And if you're going, oh my gosh, my schedule is so busy, I just don't have time for it, let me suggest a tip that will support you in opening yourself where creativity becomes part of your thinking process, not an extra added burden to your business day. And what I was thinking about is, how many of you read Julia Cameron's book, The Artist's Way? And it was years ago, it was a bestseller. Julia Cameron is someone who did training for artists who had roadblocks. And by the way, this book is not simply for artists. It went huge in the business environment too. And I don't want you to forget the lessons she taught us back then. So she does each chapter about how to opening the blockage and the thought process to creativity. It's an excellent book. I remember, as a matter of fact, driving down the freeway after reading one of her chapters, and at the end of the chapter she had some exercises that you could take on. And one of the exercises was to think back when creativity was killed in you, or when creativity became burdensome for you, or when creativity was barricaded in you. And I'm driving down the freeway pretty cocky, I want you to know, going, never happened to me. I consider myself highly creative. And then flash, I remembered kindergarten. And I remembered we had a pottery class where we made hot plates for kindergarten. And they put it into the kiln, and out, came the hot plates, and they cooled down, and the teacher's now starting to pass them out to students. And she's passing them out, and she comes to mine, and she literally held up my hot plate as, quote, unquote, the worst example of creativity and color ever that she'd ever seen. Like, ever was the language. Now, that doesn't end the story. A little while later, the little kindergarten boy who sat next to me, his hot plate came out, and the teacher held it up and goes, class, now this is an example of a really fabulous hot plate. It was so bad, as a matter of fact, that the little boy, who had a kind heart and knew that I had a soft heart and I'd been really hurt, when he got his hot plate, he gave it to me and he said, Nancy, here, you take this hot plate. So he gave me his hot plate. So little Nancy went off home with her hot plate that showed less than creativity and the hot plate that was the gem of creativity. And for every Thanksgiving dinner and every Christmas dinner and every Easter dinner and every major time that we were celebrating, guess what was on the table? You have it. My less than and the little boy's greatest. So every holiday I looked at him and was reminded, I'm no good as an artist. He's great as an artist. I'm no good with color. He's great with color. And I all of a sudden had this explosion in my heart and my mind that showed me that there are huge areas where creativity had been blocked in me. Even though I wrote, even though I did a lot of creative things, there's this whole expansion of creativity that was closed off in me when I was a kid in kindergarten. Now, maybe you don't have such a dramatic story. Maybe your story is even more dramatic. And if it is, I'd love to hear about it. But start thinking about opening creativity for you. I'd recommend the first place is Artist's Way, the book. And also, if you're interested in more information, check out below nancyfredericks.com, because I wrote a blog on creativity and the character strength of creativity that I think would be very insightful for you. Thank you so much for sharing my explosion and recognition that there's more to creativity than I had known. And I invite you to join me. Thanks so much, and I look forward to seeing you next time on Mindful Business Tip. Have much success between now and then. Thank you.